Veteran benefits. Learn more right after this.
I'm transferring to the University of West Georgia.
Columbia University.
Kennesaw State.
UGA. Loyola University in Chicago.
Grambling State.
Shorter University.
I'm going to Greensboro College, and we all got our start at Georgia Highlands.
No matter where your educational journey takes you, you can get your start at Georgia Highlands College. Georgia Highlands College. Enroll, engage, excel.
Welcome to Community Watch. Greg.
Doc,
Hey. How you doing?
I'm doing great. What about yourself?
I'm all right. End of the semester, it's a busy time.
I know.
Yeah.
Testing,
Yeah.
finals, but hey, we can do it.
So today's show, we have a guest that is discussing an issue I don't remember having discussed on the show before.
Ever. I don't think we've ever had a show on veterans benefits.
Yeah.
I don't know if we really had a show about veterans, to be honest with you.
I know we've had veterans on the show.
Yes.
We had the veteran author not too long ago. But I know, at least at the college, more and more veterans are coming to school. Probably the most that I've seen in 20 years or so. And I'm not sure why that's happening more now, but seems to be. So it's a timely show, I think we have today. Something.
A very important show.
Well, I was going to say something you know a lot more about than I do, but that really is most of the time that's the case.
No.
Yeah.
You know, actually, as a veteran, and we'll be talking mostly about veteran disability benefits, but there is, as a veteran myself, I have to admit, there's a lot of information you just don't know. And if you don't have someone that can point you in the right direction, you know, it's just a lot of information. It's a lot of things that I may be eligible for, I don't even know.
Yeah.
So we'll find out
today. Well, stay with us. We'll be talking about veteran benefits today. Important show. We'll be right back after this.
$7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks more than 4 miles long. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We're very happy to have with us today Colin Douglas of Veteran Rating Consultants. Is that correct?
Correct.
Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, so as is typical when we have a guest on the show, you have to begin by sort of explaining what veteran rating consultants are for me, since I know nothing. So we start with zero and build up from there.
Sure. I'm a consultant for VA benefits. So if a veteran gets denied a claim for compensation or pension benefits from the VA, he can use my services to see if it was proper denial or if he was deserving of an increase or an allowance to compensation or pension benefits. I'm trained in 38 CFR, this Code of Federal Regulation. Did it for 20 years with the VA. I was an instructor at 3 regional office, the New Jersey Newark office, the Baltimore office, and the Atlanta regional office, and an average of 7 years each location.
So Carl, let me ask you this then. What, if you worked for the VA 20 years, so was there a need that you saw that that caused you to say, okay, I'm gonna leave this and become a consultant? And what was the, I guess, the impetus to start the business? At
the time, I commuted from Chattanooga to Atlanta daily, and my family started growing. I got married and had a child, and I realized the commute was great, and I saw the need where veterans were just frustrated with the system, and one letter would be comprised of 20 pages, and that's a denial letter. So it could be a single sheet of evidence, a piece of paper that the VA would say in 5,000 words, this is all we need. But because the volume of paper was so great, the veteran got frustrated and did not pursue his claim.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Why is that? Is that just the bureaucracy, or?
It's an adjudicative process, and the legal terminology. You have lawyers writing to a community, or that's, some might not have finished high school, and some have their PhD, MDs.
Yeah.
So they try to write it at a 5th or 6th grade level.
But still, 20 pages, you 5,000 words, even at 6th grade level, is a lot of words. And it makes me think about, recently I'm going to say scandals, but the problem the VA has had. Just months ago, we got a new VA director, and the number of veterans who have actually died and suffered while their claims were denied. So I guess really, it's a service like yours for people who actually have applied for a claim, been denied, and say, what do I do?
Correct. Being I know the process, I pretty much I know just the first paragraph of the letter. It's basically a canned letter where the individual, the adjudicator, just clicks on these buttons and it produces the 20-page report. But it break it down. It'd be okay. We need a current diagnosis of the condition. It showed it was diagnosed back in 2009. We just want a current diagnosis of 2015 showing. So I get the veteran right next to me, and I explain to him what the letter is actually saying. And sometimes the letters go back in 2005. That's when they threw it away. But then they heard I'm in the area, I provide a service. They bring that letter in, and then I can take it from there. Usually by word of mouth. Pretty much all they tell me is I was denied, and if I say when was the denial, I don't remember. So they just got upset and try to erase it from their memory. So like I said, they would bring the paper in, and I would say, where do you go for treatment? And they would tell me, and I would say, hey, tell your doctor you need to get a current diagnosis of the condition, and that usually solves it.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm just thinking, so it's an interpretation thing you're doing here.
Correct,
Okay.
correct. And because I did it so many years, I was at one time the person clicking on the letters. And the VA, to be fair, they try to shorten the process, the letters, the notification period, but it's a legal business. And if they get dragged to court by the Disabled American Veteran, American Legion, they have to cover their tracks. So they have these 20-page paperwork to argue what is or. You can have this set of symptoms, or you have this set of symptoms, and you'll get paid here. So it's just a legal definition of a word.
So, but I'm thinking the services you provide is a very intimate service. It's not like I could just go to we don't even have Kinko's. You know, you just go into a big box store and you get what you need. I'm thinking because if I got a claim, my claim is different from Doc's claim. His claim is different from somebody else's claim. So therefore, in order for you to help me, you really have to get to know what my issue is, my claim is, and what I'm trying to do. And so, I mean, that's requiring a lot of, I guess, personalized service.
And the individual who makes the decision in the VA adjudication division, all they see are paperwork, a paper trail on a claim. They have never met the individual. Sometimes they try to, the managers try to put forward some suggestions to the claims rater. Say, hey, maybe we need to be more intimate, be so removed from a personal claim. So I realized I wasn't shy of wanting to go to customer contact section and talk to the veteran. Some people didn't like that. They just rather deal with the paperwork and deny based on the evidence at the time when they're making their decision. So every case, it is, even to this day, I met an individual that did 30 years in the police department, and whenever he did anything, he got tired easily. Well, he told me he had cardiac arrhythmia, misfiring of the heart, and all through from service. And this was back in the like 68. And here it is. I'm looking at his service medical record and seeing him being treated for fainting spells. So his pulse was 52, and it was like, so I've never seen anything like it, and that's today where I've worked several thousands cases, and I'm still getting new cases. And I like to read, especially when it's just, it's like made for movies. And I can go through experience of reading cases where the veteran was 18, and now here it is in 2015, and he's now 85, and he's still receiving benefits. And now his spouse is getting benefits, his kids are getting benefits. So
let me ask you this, well, you know, like for instance, I don't know this to be true, but I know I've heard time and time again, if you're applying for Social Security benefits, you can expect to be denied the first round, you know, unless you got some overwhelming circumstance, just they're gonna shoot it down, you have to reapply. Is Veteran Affairs similar to that in the sense that, because I can remember my stepfather, he was a Vietnam vet, and he was wounded twice, shot several times, and I remember, you know, he was years later when he finally decided to go get help. It was a fight, and even though the things were documented in his records, he didn't know how, and it literally took years. And my sister getting involved to help him, because he was not the most fluent person, you know, in the language and in the lexicon of it, but it was a struggle for him to get benefits, and it just makes you think like, wow, you know. So I can see how it can be very frustrating and overwhelming.
Right. I don't believe it's a case where it's going to be a denial off the bat. Usually it's the individual applying the law, the regulation. It should be a straight decision, yes or no. In my experience, depending on the day that the maturity of the case that you're working, usually it's say 6 months from the date that it enters the building to when time to make a decision, the maturity of the control number of that case. When that case is presented on your desk, if the evidence prove a grant, if it supports a grant, then you grant. If it doesn't support a grant, if it's still missing, example, a current diagnosis, or it's missing, he says that he fell out of a truck, a deuce and a half, and bumped his knee, his left knee, and we don't have that evidence of the service incident. But the letter would say to him, that letter that went out 6 months prior said to him, hey, if you can support this claim by having lay statement, if you can get a buddy to write, say, hey, I was with Charles Jones back in Fort Campbell, and he fell out of the truck. We were going to the range, and I vouch for him that this is what happened to him. Then the doctor who treated him say he has calcium built up on the knee, and this is from an old injury. And I've seen his buddy statement. Then the doctor can say, hey, what I'm treating for him today is what started in service. That's my opinion.
Well, we have to take a quick break here. When we come back, lots more discussion about veteran services, so stay with us.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We're talking with Colin Douglas of Veteran Rating Consultants. And just based on that last example you gave us, it sounds like these situations can be fairly complicated. So I can see why a veteran might give up on filing for benefits that are really owed to him or her.
Yes, it gets complicated, and think about the years that gone by, and sometimes a veteran might say, well, you know, I have no injuries, and but I'm not doing well in life, and what can I get from the VA? How can they assist me monetarily? So there is another form of benefits. It's called pension benefits. Pension benefits, it's an income-based benefit, such as if the veteran is out of a job and he has illness or conditions that prevents gainful employment, he can file a claim for pension benefits. So pension benefits, it's a like I said, an income-based benefit. The VA, based on zero income coming into his household, the VA will pay him $15,000, generally speaking, around $15,000 a year. So it's not a great amount of benefit, but if he has no,
better than what he's doing.
Right, if he has no income, $15,000. Now for income, if he starts receiving Social Security income, disability, then for every dollar he receives, that $14,000, $15,000 goes down.
Well, let me clarify this then. So let's say I'm a veteran. I leave, I'm fine. I work all these years. You know, for whatever reason, I have a bad spell and now I'm destitute. And even though I have no disability or anything, I could apply for pension benefits if I had zero income.
No, you're correct, but you have to have some type of disability.
Disability, okay.
It's not service related. So this would be non-service related disability. Say you have asthma and it hinders gainful employment. You can seek help from the VA, file a claim for pension benefits, and they'll ask what disabilities or conditions you have that prevents you from going out and applying for a job. And you say, well, you know, I have asthma and I have suffered from migraine. This is not related to service. However, the VA will use those disabilities and say, we will pay you based on these disabilities.
Okay, so let me clarify. So then I'm fine when I leave. I have I don't receive disability when I leave the military. But now, 30 years later, I have a disability.
Correct.
And so now, even though I left the service with a clean bill of health, but now that I do have a disability that prevents me from working, I could file a claim for pension benefits, and it's not guaranteed, but I could apply for it and possibility receive pension benefits.
Correct. And you would receive a monthly benefit, say roughly around $4,000 a month, or close. No, 1,000.
Yeah, I say because I just met a gentleman not too long ago, a veteran I was talking to, and that was his situation. He was fine, had worked, but now he was disabled, and he couldn't work. And I didn't know how he was. I didn't know the details of it, but he told me he was receiving services from the VA, and I guess that's what it was, because he had been working all these years and now he's disabled. Okay.
Right.
So then you have pension, and then you have compensation. Okay.
And then you have DIC, Dependency Indemnity Compensation. The veteran is deceased. He has a spouse. His spouse files based on his service. She has an opportunity to receive $1,500 a month for the rest of her life. If his death was caused by a service-related injury or disease or condition. So the veteran was in Vietnam. This is the best example I can top of my head. He was in Vietnam. He now has ischemic heart disease. In Vietnam, they use herbicide agents to take care of the vegetation. And now it's known that this type of Agent Orange cause ischemic heart disease. He dies because of ischemic heart disease. His spouse will file a claim for dependency indemnity compensation, DIC, and she, on an average, I would say $1,400 something a month for the rest of her life, based on his service in the military.
And what about children?
Children, if the child, so Agent Orange exposure, one condition that comes off the top of my head, the child is disabled, spina bifida. That child receives an income based on that disability. Now, you have to have a disability or a condition that prevents gainful employment. So the child, the first thing to establish is that the child is a helpless child or disabled child prior to age 18. So it's not after 18 that something occurred. It shows that since birth, something's been ailing the child of a deceased veteran. That child is entitled to child DIC.
So even if the veteran left, clean bill of health, he working, he dies. The child has a disability prior to 18. Is that child eligible for that?
Yes.
Even though the veteran is...
It must be established that because of his death, it's related to service.
Okay.
In other case, if it's not because of service-related death, pension comes into play, death pension comes into play. The regulations for death pension is, one, you must serve at least 90 days of active duty, the veteran must. And at least one of those days would be during period of war. So the veteran served from May of 75 is the cutoff for Vietnam. And I use Vietnam because I remember
I served in Desert Storm.
Okay, so Desert Storm, I believe that it's still open for, they have not closed the window. So, but Desert Storm, you must have active duty service for 90 days. And at least one day would be a period of war for you to be qualified for pension. But the other qualification criteria is income based, where you got to be under that threshold of 14,000. Then the next level, see if you qualify. If you pass, your spouse, say you qualify for a pension, for life pension because you're alive, but then you pass. the widow can come in with your child, come in for death pension. And she can be paid death pension based on your service.
Well, I'm tell you right now, I'm already this complicated. I mean, it's complicated, and you're explaining it, so I can imagine going it alone.
I'm curious. Are veterans even aware these options are there for them?
No, they're not, because I see. Just for example, about 4 months ago, I saw this individual limping, and I said to him, "Hey, were you in the service?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "If you don't mind me prying, what's wrong with your leg?" "I injured it in the service." I said, "Did you file a claim for it?" "They know I have it. I don't have to file a claim." They know I have it. I said, "Well, they're saying it's better." That's what they're thinking. But if it still bothers you to today, you file a claim. A claim must be filed for the benefits for them to initiate paying you the benefits. So getting the word out, and I tell veterans, just spread the word. Just say, "Hey, you have this." So I've been doing research for radio shows, television shows. $2 billion goes unclaimed every year solely for dependents, surviving spouse, and children. That they're entitled to this money, but they don't claim it because they don't know.
$2 billion.
$2 billion. So I worked in the Newark regional office, and I worked in the Maryland regional office and the Atlanta office. What the North has, they're set up, if the veteran dies, in that room where the funeral director administer his ceremony or talk to the surviving dependents. VA benefits is a part of what they tell the dependents. So we have a flood. I mean, in the North, the veteran dies 8 a.m., 12 p.m., we're getting that claim for burial benefits because they inform the dependents about this benefits. This is what you're entitled to. So sometimes there are funeral homes that I want to get to tell them, hey, the veteran has this opportunity to help his loved ones out, even in the grave. This veteran went to Vietnam twice, and they call him Sarge. He died. So he died, and his mom is now getting benefits because his daughter came talk to me. So I got her benefits.
Well, we're coming up on another break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I'm transferring to the University of West Georgia.
Columbia University.
Kennesaw State.
UGA. Loyola University in Chicago.
Grambling State.
Shorter University. I'm going to Greensboro College, and we all got our start at Georgia Highlands.
No matter where your educational journey takes you, you can get your start at Georgia Highlands College. Georgia Highlands College. Enroll, engage, excel.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We've been talking with Colin Douglas of Veteran Rating Consultants. If you want to reach Mr. Douglas, if you're a veteran or family veteran, want some information, call 706-622-2175. The office is at 700 East 2nd Avenue, Suite H in Rome, 700 East 2nd Avenue, Suite H, or go to the website www.getyourvabenefits.com. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Community Watch.
Thank you.